Alright everyone, welcome to another video on Intoxication. In this one we are talking about the power of flags and can we unite under one single flag under the assumption that this flag means unity or understanding in some form. But anyways, good to have you with us here. Let's get into it. So we asked, how important is the respect of a flag for a nation? Is there a scale that can be used to measure this, like the scale of value of currency of a nation? What does it mean for a country that has no more respect for its flag? Is there a true power to flags? A reason why they have the latest, That's supposed to say lasted. Okay. A reason why they have lasted most of human history. Are we not more civilized? Can we get over symbology of a united world and become a united world or nation? We need to go step by step, right? Can we ever unite under a global flag? Respect for a national flag is profoundly important to a nation as it serves as a tangible symbol of collective identity, shared values, history, and unity among its people. Flags encapsulate a country's ethos, fostering patriotism and a sense of belonging that can rally citizens during times of celebration, conflict, or crisis. For example, they represent cultural heritage, political aspirations, and societal solidarity, evoking emotions like pride and loyalty that strengthen societal cohesion. Disrespecting the flag, such as through desecration or misuse, is often seen as an affront not just to the symbol itself, but to the nation's core principles and the sacrifices made by its people. In many cultures, proper flag etiquette is enshrined in laws or traditions to preserve this dignity, underscoring its role in maintaining national morale and international respect. There isn't a standardized, quantifiable scale for measuring flag respect akin to a currency's exchange rate. Hey, Queen, talk to me now. It's kind of aggressive there, Avis. Usually, if you want to talk to someone, you ask them a question, or, you make a statement and you hope that they react to that statement. Usually it's not best to just kind of yell at them to talk to you. But hey, what do I know about social etiquette, right? I'm retarded. Just tied to economic metrics like GDP, inflation, or trade balances. However, researchers and surveys have developed proxy indices to gauge related concepts like national pride, patriotism, and emotional attachment to national symbols, including flags. For example, patriotism scales. These often include items assessing emotional responses to the flag, national anthem, or other symbols. One approach measures blind versus constructive patriotism, where exposure to flag desecration can influence in-group bias or prejudice. National pride indices. Surveys like the General Social Survey, GSS, rank countries on pride in specific domains, such as history, achievements, or symbols. The US, for instance, scores high on pride in its armed forces and flag, while other nations vary based on cultural context. Another study across 11 nations explored values associated with flags, linking them to emotions like unity or hierarchy. Survey metrics. Tools like a Likert scale questions the nationalism or patriotism polls ask about support for displaying national symbols, willingness to defend them, or pride levels, example on a 1 to 5, 1 to 7 scale. These aren't as precise or universal as currency values, but provide comparative data. For example, countries with strong flag veneration, like Denmark or the US, often correlate with higher patriotism scores. If a country loses respect for its flag, it could signal deeper social fractures, such as eroding national identity, dismissing unity, or rising internal divisions. This might manifest as increased prejudice towards outsiders, weakening social bonds, or a loss of collective purpose, potentially leading to political instability or cultural fragmentation. Historical examples include periods of unrest where flag desecration reflects broader discontent, like in post-apartheid South Africa, where debates over symbols highlighted ongoing national building challenges. In extreme cases, it could indicate a shift toward anti-national Semitism, or anti-national sentiments, or external influences undermining sovereignty, as seen in religious regions with anti-US views where American symbols are targeted. Many nations counter this with laws banning desecration, viewing it as essential to preserving cohesion. Flags do hold a form of true power as enduring symbols that transcend mere fabric. They wield psychological, social, and political influence. Throughout human history, dating back to at least 11th century BC, China, and ancient civilizations, flags have served as identifiers in battles, emblems of spiritual or imperial power, and tools for unification. Their persistence stems from humanity's innate need for visual symbols to represent group identity, boost morale, and assert dominance or liberation in social and political movements. Even in modern times, they evolved to reflect cultural heritage while maintaining this unifying force, explaining why they've outlasted empires and revolutions. While humanity has advanced in technology, governance, and ethics, arguably becoming more civilized in areas like human rights and global cooperation, symbols like flags remain integral because they fulfill fundamental psychological needs belonging and distinction. Overcoming symbology entirely, or a united world, is unlikely in the near term, as it risks erasing diverse identities that people cherish, potentially leading to resistance or loss of motivation for collective action. Step-by-step approach to global unity could involve strengthening internal institutions, the UN addressing shared challenges like climate change or pandemics, and promoting cross-culture understanding to build trust gradually. Uniting under a single global flag is theoretically feasible, but faces massive hurdles. Deep-rooted national loyalties, cultural differences, power imbalances, and fears of tyranny or loss of sovereignty make it improbable without catastrophic events forcing cooperation. Proponents argue it could solve global issues, but skeptics highlight the value of pluralism over enforced unification, or uniformity. Well, I would say on that point, it's the fact of, there's, your national flag, then there's your, in my case, I'm Canadian, so provincial flag, or in America, your, state flag, right? So the bigger the entity and the more pieces you have to it, the more you can break it down. So I don't feel that, we get rid of all of the other flags and we replace them with a global flag. We just create some sort of global flag that's hey, if, this is the human flag. If flags have this power of bringing people together, let's create a human flag for all humans, right?